One anime I've been meaning to discuss on here is My Hero Academia. So I'm about to get into it right now. So My Hero Academia is an anime and manga about a boy named Izuku Midoriya who was born into a world where you're almost guaranteed to get superpowers. So thing with Izuku is that he was born without powers, or a quirk as they call it. He gained his quirk thanks to his personal favorite hero, All Might. His quirk is called One for All, which he could pass down his powers. All Might's quirk had super strength and super agility and stuff like that. So Izuku gains that and so much more. Now, the funny thing about this is it takes like the typical shonen anime trope and turns it around a little bit. Izuku doesn't train until he gets the powers. He trains because he has all the power and he needs to learn how to control it. So he starts off pretty much 100%. It's like playing an RPG. You're already max level, but you don't have enough MP, so to speak, to use all the spells. Izuku has to train to be able to, for his body to match his power. It's an interesting concept. It's not like most other anime, like where the main character has to train to obtain the power. The closest you had is Dragon Ball with Goku and the Kaioken, but they're still different enough. So Izuku has his friends. He has Katsu Bakugo, and I use that term loosely because my issue at first with Katsu Bakugo, he's clearly a bully, yet I feel like Izuku really admires him for some reason. That's a little messed up in my opinion. Like, Izuku has called out his bullying, but I feel like he's like, oh wow, Kachan is so cool. And I'm like, dude, he treats you like crap. What are you calling him cool for? You can respect him, but at least have some your own self-respect. This guy literally told you to jump off the roof. So this show did a bad job of making Katsu Bakugo a good character, and I sometimes wonder how he got so popular within the fan base. So Bakugo improved a little bit throughout the show. I think he tried to be better, but I'm still like iffy about if they did that right. So then you have Ochako Uraraka, who is supposed to be the love interest, and I'm gonna complain about this too. She is a terrible love interest type character. Like, first of all, it feels like she was just generally there to be a love interest, and on top of that, her motives keep changing from she's gonna make enough money. She's gonna be a hero, so she's gonna make money to help her parents. To she's gonna be a hero, so she could help other heroes, or she's gonna be a hero for I don't know. There's a few other things, but I'm like thinking, I don't get this girl. Then she says she's gonna ignore her feelings, and then she's gonna focus on her feelings, then ignore them and focus on her. She's a very inconsistently ranked character, and her chemistry with Izuku could be really poor sometimes. Like when they're just being buddy, that works. When they're like blushing around each other, I'm like, okay, this is kind of forced. Because first of all, Izuku blushes around Ochako, but I never took that as him liking her. He does that to every girl he talks to. Like, he talks to a girl named Suyu Asui. He's blushing. There's a few episodes where he's even like close to her and he feels awkward. But to credit to Suyu Asui, when she talks to him, she tries to talk to him normally. In fact, if I recall on the Japanese version of the show, when he gets nervous talking to her, she says, go at your own pace. Like, she understands he's nervous and she helps him through it. Ochako doesn't do that. She just gets just as awkward and they don't really make a lot of headway. Izuku talks to another girl, and remember, he's blushing around her because her outfit was a little revealing. The biggest indicator was when Izuku met a girl during a movie, My Hero Academia, The Two Heroes. He met a girl named Melissa Shield. At first, he's blushing around her. He's like, oh, pretty girl. She learns how to talk to him normally, and then they have like a normal interaction to the point where I feel like if the movie was allowed to, they would have had them hook up at the end of the movie, and it would have been believable. So I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I'm sorry to tell you, Izuku and Ochako do not make a good couple. I know, I don't care what's supposed to be canon or not. You can like whatever you like, but I'm one of these people who don't see it. Hell, I've seen better chemistry with Ochako and Bakugo. You know, the anime rival always gets the anime main girl. Goku didn't get Bulma, Vegeta did. Naruto didn't get Sakura, Sasuke did. So let's continue that with how My Hero just have Bakugo and Ochako hook up because they have better chemistry. They just have whatever else. But I don't really watch anime for romance. And I say this as somebody who sat through Inuyasha on that train wreck of a romance. Yeah, I know this is not going to get me a lot of popularity, but I just did not care about the romance in that show. I just care about the friendship. Then you had Tenya Ida, and that's gonna be another thing we're gonna complain about. Wow, a lot of complaints. But Tenya was built originally as like another main character, but then he got dropped like halfway through, replaced with Shoto Todoroki. I'm like thinking, if this show was about Izuku, Ochako, and Tenya, then I wouldn't have as many complaints because they could have built Izuku and Ochako properly. They could have done something with Tenya. They had something good going on with him, succeeding his brother with his hero name. But they dropped Ochako and Tenya for some reason and just focused a lot on Izuku, Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki. And Bakugo and Todoroki are not bad characters, but why did they need to shaft Ochako and Tenya in the process? I know there's a lot of characters to juggle around, but I think he could have managed those 5 in particular. So, that's just, even Naruto eventually learned to manage these other characters. It took a while and some of it was filler, but they should have taken more advantage. Instead, they dropped the ball on these characters, and it's such a shame, really. Yeah, so, okay, so let me try to think of some bright points. I did like the mentorship between Izuku and All Might. All Might was like this. I like the idea that Izuku idolized All Might his whole life, and while in some media, meeting a hero turned out bad, this time around, Izuku meets All Might, and All Might becomes like a father figure to him. And I like that as much as Izuku admired All Might since he was a kid, All Might came to care about Izuku. He values the fact that Izuku looks up to him to the point where All Might tries harder because he knows people look up to him and he wants to do right by them. I respect hero characters like that. I respect people like that in general. Like, you have a fan base, you care because you know that fan base made you who you are. So, All Might is a good example of how to treat your fans, but like I was worried at first because there was a point where I thought he was going to be revealed that this nice guy mentality he had was just an act, but no, he does genuinely care. So, in turn, Izuku seems to inspire All Might. This is a nice trope where the apprentice character can inspire the hero he succeeds. It's kind of like Batman Beyond, how Terry McGinnis was somewhat of an inspiration to Bruce Wayne, or at least as much as Bruce Wayne would allow it. And I also liked Izuku's interaction with some of these other characters. Like, I see he has like this nice guy mentality. He's like so easy to get along with these other characters, even though he's already nervous talking to them. You can tell they like him. They like being buddy with him. They see him as like a source of inspiration as well. And I just like that about that. So, the villains were interesting. Shigaraki is an example of what happens when somebody's like pushed away too long. He learned to hate the world, and you understand why Shigaraki hated the world. There's no excuse for all the terrible things he did, but you understand him. Him and his team, you almost understand their motives. And the League of Villains was a good concept, but I did feel like they kind of dropped the ball with them. That's just going on. Like, my biggest thing with the show was that they build some things up and then just doesn't live up to the hype. And also has terrible pacing, because why did this all happen within a span of a year? You're an anime, take advantage of time skips. Dragon Ball, Naruto, they all took advantage of time skips. This did not. So, it's gonna be a lot of Naruto and Dragon Ball references. Like, All Might's partially based off Goku with the whole showing up the last minute and saving the day. So, there's a lot of references to Marvel and Star Wars in the show as well, with Izuku's story mirroring Spider-Man's. Young boy gains powers and then tries to be a better hero. All Might is partially based on... I've mentioned that he's somewhat based on Goku, but he's also based on Superman and Captain America, at least loosely. One of the mentors, Gran Torino's loosely based off Yoda. Looks senile, but really badass. And a lot of the places in My Hero Academia named after Star Wars planets, like Tatooine Station, Dagobah Beach, and Camino Ward. So, then we got the idea of being in the Quirk Society is no different than the mutants from the X-Men. There's even a character that was originally in the manga that appeared in the Vigilante spin-offs. He was a quirkless superhero. That's something that kind of bugged me at first as well, because they're telling Izuku you can't be a pro hero without a quirk. So I don't understand why they're saying that, but people who watch or take in superhero media knows that there are superheroes that don't have powers. So there's a character named Knuckle Duster who was clearly based on Batman. Batman's one of the most famous superheroes in the world and has no powers. so he's clearly based on that. Then they showed a Todoroki, who everyone thought was based on Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, but apparently he was based on a character from a manga called The Flame of Recca, a character who also had a burn on his face, also had father issues. I wouldn't be surprised if Zuko himself was based on this character too. Avatar did have Eastern influence, so. And I think there was a character that was based on My Little Pony because her name is Pony Sonori and she was like a American character, but that might be a stretch. I am not sure. My Hero Academia, of course, takes place in Japan, so all these characters are Japanese, but the school UA has one character who's from America and one character who's from China. So, but that's my thing of My Hero Academia. So I don't really like to have to complain about these things. I did enjoy the show for what it's worth. I just say this because I know the show could have been better. It had like a good concept. I just feel like certain things just didn't stick. It didn't land like it should. So, regardless, it is a good show worth watching, and I feel like it's like a modern day classic. It's like how it's like up there with like say Jujutsu Kaisen. So yeah, so My Hero Academia is gonna get compared to other anime. It's been compared to Dragon Ball and Naruto. It's been compared to Bleach. It's been compared to One Piece. But let's look at My Hero for what it is. A good show in its own right. It's not perfect, but no TV show is. If you like it, give it a chance. If you don't think it's good, then you have the right to believe that. Everyone should have the right to believe what they want. So that's all I've had to say. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see ya.